Welcome to the kitchen. Today we're going to make a Mexican Mole Negro, and I'm so excited. I've never made this before. Pumpkin seeds, they all said yes, so I've got pumpkin seeds. And this recipe has a lot of different ingredients and a lot of chiles. So we need our canola oil, ancho chilies, negro chilies, pasilla chilies, white sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, kosher salt, oregano. If you can get Mexican oregano, get that. That's even better. Dried thyme, allspice berries, black peppercorns, cinnamon. So I'm going to use a 3-inch piece of cinnamon, cloves, white onion, tomatillos, garlic cloves, whole blanched almonds. Now, our Maria Mexican cookies, I actually had the Maria Mexican cookies and we just wasted about a half hour looking for them all over the kitchen. Could not find them, so I'm thinking somebody must have had them for snack because we could not find them anywhere. And, but I do have graham cracker cookies. So we're gonna use graham crackers as a substitute. If you don't have either of these, you could use bread or even saltine crackers. So the cookies are as a binder in the recipe. So if you don't have the cookies, you can use animal crackers, bread. I'm going to use graham crackers in this one, and so anything you can substitute. I have plantain. We're going to use a golden delicious apple and some raisins to add some sweetness to this recipe. Our tomatoes. We're going to add a bit of sugar. Our chocolate, and this is a hot chocolate drinking tablets, but this we can use for it. And this is a product from Mexico. And chicken stock. All right, we're getting all of our mise en place ready, measuring all of our ingredients, and now we're going to start working on our chiles. So these are the ancho, we have 4, and we have the chile pasilla, and that we're going to need 4 of these. And then I could not find the cascabel or the negro chilies. So this is a guajillo chili. I'm going to use 6 of those. And what we want to do is we want to get the seeds out and take off the top. So we're just going to, you can just rip them off. But I need 2 hands, so you just rip it off. And then we want to remove the seeds. So we can dump the seeds out. All right, so we want to get rid of all of those. I'm going to do that. You can also slice it down the middle and de-seed it. And cut this up into smaller pieces. Okay, all of our chilies have been deveined and seeds have been taken out. And what we're going to do is we're going to toast them in this pan. We're going to turn the heat on, sort of like a medium heat. And then we're going to add in about 3 tablespoons of canola oil. And we can do this all together. We're going to put in our garlic cloves and our onions as well. We're going to toast everything all up at the same time. And because this is going to go in the blender, I don't need to bother wasting time chopping up the onions small. Okay, so we get those in. And we're going to oil toast them. So putting in some of our peppers. And in order to do this, you want to continuously stir. So I've been stirring these for about 10 minutes now. You can see that the onions are getting this nice, beautiful char on them. Our garlic's getting fragrant and charred. Just leave it a whole clove. We're going to put this in the blender and blend it all, so not to worry. And as soon as they're soft, they're much softer now. The peppers are nice and soft. So we're going to put them into the blender, and we're going to add in our 4 cups of chicken stock and let it sit and soften. So this is like a setup process here. We're just going to soak the peppers in the chicken stock now, and that will help speed things up. This is a long process. So we have all of the onions, garlic, and peppers in here, and here's our chicken stock, and this is 2 cups. And I think I'm just going to add another cup. I'll let the peppers, I'll do all 4 cups. All right, so that's 4 cups of our chicken stock, and we're gonna let it soak. And while that's soaking, we're gonna toast now the almonds, sesame seeds, and pumpkin seeds. And our pot still has onion at the bottom of it, so we can just use that oil. So I'm gonna add in this. And again, we're gonna do this over medium heat. And this is gonna take a bit of time again too. So we're gonna be stirring quite a few minutes. So get them all in the pan. And again, you gotta sit here and stir this probably about 5 minutes until you see those sesames get nice and golden brown. Now while you're stirring and toasting this, we're gonna add in our raisins. We want them to plump up too. We're gonna keep cooking and stirring those as well. And we're gonna add in our apples. All right, when you start to see the toasted sesame start to brown and the raisins beginning to plump up, we're just gonna crumble in the cookies. Our sesame seeds are getting nice and toasted and golden brown. And then we'll take everything out of this, put it in a bowl, set it aside, and we can do the plantains, tomatillos, and tomatoes. We might add a little more oil. And then we can also get this blended. All right, now we're gonna go and add in some more oil, probably 2 tablespoons this time. And we're gonna put it on medium heat again. And now we're gonna add in our tomatillos, those cooking, and our tomatoes. I'm gonna cook them for a bit, and then I'll add in the plantains. While the tomatillos and tomatoes are cooking, I'm gonna saute them until they're soft. I'm gonna start getting this part ready. So we're gonna have our blender. I'm gonna blend all of this. Here, it's nice and thin and smooth out, and we're gonna put this in a separate pan, and we're gonna cook it, thicken it up. And when it's gonna start to turn like a dark brown color, okay? So we don't need to clean that out. We're gonna add in our nuts soon and get those pureed. And we're gonna continue to cook this down, and it should darken up. I've added the plantains into our tomatoes and tomatillos, and we're gonna continue to cook those until the plantains. All right, added all of our toasted nuts, seeds, apple, raisins. I'm gonna add a ladle of our sauce so we can blend it. We're gonna blend it, and then we're gonna put it all into our pot, which is getting darker and darker. So all of our nuts and seeds have been broken down. You can see there's a color difference now. Our sauce on the stove is getting darker and thicker. And then we're gonna add to it now all these seeds. All right, we've got the plantains, the tomatoes, the tomatillos in there. I added a ladle full of this sauce so that way it'll puree. You need a bit of liquid in the machine, otherwise it's not gonna puree. Okay, we've got, this is our tomato and tomatillo, plantain. We scrape all of that in, and then we gotta cook this. We gotta keep stirring and cooking it until it thickens and gets a beautiful dark color. And then we're gonna add in our chocolate and salt at the last minute, and we're gonna puree it again. So I think I might puree this before I add the chocolate. So I'm gonna continue to cook this and get it really nice and dark colored. That might take a half hour or more, continuously stirring, and then I'll puree it again and make it really nice and thin, and then we'll add the chocolate. So I blended the whole thing again. It's much smoother now, and I'm still cooking it down though. We want to get it a bit darker. I'm gonna add in our salt now, and that's 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. And then as soon as it gets dark, a darker color, then I'm gonna add in our chocolate. This has been simmering for quite a while. I added a cup of water just to thin it out. It had gotten very thick. And now we're going to add in our 4 ounces or half a cup of sugar, and then our chocolate. Now, originally I had written down 7 ounces, but the bricks, there were 3, and this ended up being 9 ounces. So I'd rather have more chocolate in this. This seems quite a lot. So we're just gonna add this in. And continue to simmer it. We'll add in our chocolate. Get that melted in. Here is our finished mole sauce. That has been simmering for about an hour, and I had to step out to teach class, so I didn't get to stir it, but it is getting to get very thick. And you want to actually cook this for quite a while. I spent about 4 hours cooking it yesterday, chilled it overnight, brought it back up to a boil this morning, added the chocolate and the sugar, and now it's been simmering again for another hour. See how nice and thick and beautiful this is? So I want to give it a taste. Put this out to cool. Oh, that is so good. I cannot wait to try this with chicken. And we're gonna also make some pickled onions. So we might just do this with like a baked chicken, or maybe we'll make a chicken enchilada. All right, so there's many wonderful things that you can use with the mole sauce, and obviously this does make a large batch, so you can have this for a while. You can freeze it and keep it for quite a while, and this is really, that is so delicious. It's unbelievable. I had a really good mole many years ago in a great Mexican restaurant, and I've never had a really good one again since, and now today I have just made one that is very close to the one that I fell in love with years ago. This is so, so good. So let me go back over the recipe with you. I did change quite a few things, so let's double check everything. All right, we started off with 3 tablespoons of canola oil. I used 4 ancho chilies. I used 4 pasilla chilies, and I used 6 guajillo chilies, 2 tablespoons of sesame seeds, 3 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. I used 2 tablespoons of regular oregano, 1 teaspoon of dried thyme. I then switched from the whole spices to ground. So 1 teaspoon of ground allspice, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1 white onion, 4 tomatillos. I only used 2 garlic cloves. That's simply because I can't stomach garlic, unfortunately, but if you have no trouble, please put 4. 3.25 ounces of blanched almonds, or 3/4 cup. And I did not have the Maria cookies, even though I bought them. Somebody helped themselves to the cookies in the kitchen and left me with none. So instead I used graham cracker cookies, and I used 2 large graham crackers, 1 yellow plantain, 1 golden delicious apple, 3/4 cup or 4 ounces of raisins. I used 3 plum tomatoes, half a cup of sugar or 4 ounces, and I used 9.3 ounces of our chocolate and 4 cups of chicken stock, and I did add some water. It had gotten so thick, I did add water to it as well. And this is just absolutely wonderful.
For more recipe demonstrations, please click like and subscribe to Chef Victoria Love's YouTube channel and have fun in the kitchen. Thank you.